Hi! How goes it? I am brain, worketh good. Should I demand of it too? We are back to play another game of Stars of That Number with the crew of the Gloved Molotov. I'm sure some of those
Drink
words.
some water.
Wait, what?
Some of those were words.
Water.
Rory, is there sound playing on Roll20?
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
Oh.
But that's okay. I am going to begin running us a game of the space adventures because I think that's what we're here for. Can you hear the mysterious planny sounds?
Yes.
It possibly a not.
It's a good vibe, I will say. However, I will begin by elaborating on what happened last time. The party are back together again, as they have now fully converged in the underground base of a group of resistance fighters trying to do something in opposition to the Yakutan government. This is a group of individuals that Katalina has worked with previously, and did several missions for them and with them prior to leaving the planet with Darius and Dimitri. Upon returning, it's become apparent that the resources available to the party through these resistance fighters are not insubstantial, and that being able to call upon them for certain degrees of assistance is possible. However, before Darius and Dimitri converged with the party, Darius had a very clandestine meeting in probably the nicest dumpster interior anybody has ever seen, where he received very shadowy instructions from a figure who he may have dealt with before about sneaking a vital piece of information to a deep cover immersion agent during their morning coffee pickup, and performing a heist on a vehicle convoy in 2 days' time. After Dimitri on the Milan convinced Lucia to spend some quality time with Dr. Lucy, he jettisoned the party's escape pod full of their definitely illegal on this planet stuff to be collected later by the resistance group and proceeded down to the planet.
Oh, hang on. I just realized I was using Primal in the last game, but that would almost certainly be an illegal thing. So he's going to be in that jettison package.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So, after converging fully in the meeting room, Darius definitely made himself at home with Sparks' software, and basically put together a nice long to-do list. In order, it was convoy, Locky's brain cell trade, save Arnie, save Harbona, evil AI, and ask Sparks about power. As there seems to be an ongoing issue on Yakuta, and their increasingly high demand for electricity. But first things first, the convoy is in 2 days' time, and Eva suggested to the party that they get in contact with some of the local crime syndicates, as they could also be of use. When this was discussed, it became apparent that the big guy, the guy in charge of this crime ring, has acquired himself a prize fighter from the same planet as Locky. And this has made a few things somewhat personal for Locky, especially since he has been somewhat nominated to fight him. a task I don't think he's going to say no to.
Nope.
Along with all of this, Pim has been remarkably silent, just happily tapping away, working on something on a data snap. And I believe the plan agreed upon by the party was to split in two, and to send some of you off to go and try and intercept Catalina's sister Arnie in a market, while the other half of you go and try to scout out the route that this vehicle convoy is going to be taking, and to gain a tactical advantage from that. So, that's where we are. You're in the secret base. What do you do?
All right. Well, I take it if this is the plan, Catalina, are you leading one squad?
I was going with Dimitri and Charles to the market, and we were going to just suss out the situation. So
I sort of stop and think for a few seconds and go, I want Dimitri.
that is between you and him. Dimitri say he want to come see Annie, but
Have you considered buying him dinner first?
Dimitri, look, you've got a psychoactive pet that is probably the most subtle out of any of us.
that is why we need him for Annie.
She can talk
when is
to
the envoy, by the way?
Molly. Can talk to any of you. Like, she does not have to stay with me.
No. Well, true.
How? What was your plan with her?
I mean, hey, Molly, are you around?
Hi.
Molly's always around.
How good do you like scrambling people's brain patterns? Like, if someone was to see something, can you make them see something else?
Oh, I've never really tried before.
Tell you what, give it a shot. Can you make my vision say go black for 20 seconds?
Hey, Dad, is this okay? This seems pretty dangerous.
It is okay in this case, as long as his sight comes back after 20 seconds.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. Please make a mental effect save.
Will do. Alice? Sorry.
Right, sorry.
Please roll a d20.
17.
Sorry?
17.
Okay, you for a moment feel the sensation that's like akin to, I want to say the bends or something like that, where the like exterior periphery of your vision begins to like shrink, and you can feel your heartbeat throbbing in your head, but you kind of like don't. It doesn't feel at all pleasant, but you kind of shake it off, and it just recedes back into your peripheral vision.
I sort of stagger a bit and go, not quite, but it's a pretty good distraction. Holy shit.
You okay? I feel like that hurt.
Hurt is not the right word. It was, you know what? I reckon you should practice that one.
Oh, what's happening, everybody?
Hey, Darius.
Yeah.
With your convoy, they said that they need us to not know that we got any information.
Right. No killing. One of us goes in, one of us goes out. Probably me, as I'm the only one who's going to be able to break the server.
I just thought, how bad would they be if we blew the thing up after we got the information? Technically, no one knows we got it.
How much later?
just make it look like a terrorist attack. You know, they went after blowing it up rather than getting information for it.
I think that seems a little.
It's a last ditch effort. It's not the first idea that comes to mind, but just you know,
More
I want to
detailed.
see how mad your buyers would be.
Is there more detailed information on the job description? Like, does it specifically say no killing, or does it just say don't get tracked?
It says get in, get the information, get out, don't get noticed, and allow the data to get to its destination. So it seems that whatever is being transported is something that's going to be used, and like based on that description, it sounds like you're maybe obtaining backdoor access to a new system that they want to be installed.
Okay.
So
yeah. Unfortunately, Locky, I'm pretty sure this is like a payload of sorts. It needs to get where it needs to go.
Alright, so no blowing it up. Important information to know.
It is like intercepting signal, so that they don't know that we've read their message to each other.
Hey, Catalina,
Duh.
how good are you at that change in your look thing?
I will be honest. It's not something I can do again until tomorrow.
I get that, but I mean, like, how far can you go with it?
Oh, well, as far as my experiments have been, I can change color. I can change no, just color, but I can make it look textured. So if you look close, you know it's not texture, but you know, if I wanted scales, I could make me look like I have scale.
Can you make you look like a different person altogether, so they can't recognize you?
I can only change color, not shape. So, I mean, maybe is so you know, my hair color will be one color, and it will stay this color, and my skin color will be different, but my facial feature will be same.
At this point, Eva pipes up and says, "Yes, but we have other tricks to change the appearance of the face. If you recall, Catalina."
Da.
You could wear a veil or a head thing or scarf and stuff.
If
Give
I
you a
go
big furry hat.
when I go out, I have to wear this, but we normally use more practical method of change appearance.
Or you have no idea how many fake noses I've worn over the years.
The noses, cheekbones, and chins.
Alright, well,
Sometimes jaw.
I think I've got a good idea of how we should approach this, but work out the rest while we're out there on the field. Have a look out.
You guys should do reconnaissance today. We are going
Probably.
to try and do reconnaissance on Annie as well.
Probably. In this field, Locky, I can only really make you cannons. How you position and use them is up to you.
It's alright. Ambushing a convoy is something I'm quite familiar with.
All right, then.
Okay, so are people going to be rolling out and doing their various missions?
No.
Okay, so going to the market and trying to spot Arnie is going to be Dimitri, Katalina, and Dr. Charles. Yes.
Catalina
Okay.
will put on some makeup before she leaves.
Okay. While PIMM, Darius, and Locky are going to walk up and down the convoy route and see if they can gain any tactical insights on the location. Okay, I think we will begin with the tactical breakdown, and we'll then cut away partway through to the market and then cut back. Just because I think you guys examining the convoy site is going to take a bit longer.
Yep, fair.
Okay, so I'm going to bring us over to the map, and I will bring with me. No, not Dimitri. You three. Copy. Cool. Okay, so you guys are leaving the old folks' home, which is down to the very south of the area. What part of the convoy route are you beginning your investigation?
I'd say breach point 1 that Ash pointed out.
Yeah, I want to start from like at the top of
Yeah.
here. So
Hang on one sec, guys. Sorry.
Give me a sec, I broke the map.
God damn it,
No.
she
Okay,
broke
well
the
then-
planet in half.
What is it?
The map is just a little bit too big for the fully zoomed out screen. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot, I grant you. But, so yes, I have positioned you.
What is this building here?
Sorry. Okay, so
What is this
So-
building here?
you guys hop into a taxi, and 200 credits later, you have arrived in your destination on the corner of this building, kind of examining the area. Up here is like a fortified military structure, kind of the external perimeter of this more militant district inside the city. And as you look around down before you, it's lots of medium to tall high-rise structures. So this building here is actually an office building.
Okay.
It's set up so that the large square area is the building's footprint, but the other structures within are like independent towers. So the main building footprint goes up about 5 stories, and then the towers on top of that footprint go up another like 30 stories. So it's a pretty big building.
I want to have a look around this street area right here. One, to see if there's any security cameras, and two, to see if there's any blind spots where we could possibly do an insertion if we need to into the convoy.
Okay. Well, this location here, kind of on the same side of the road that you are looking at, actually appears to be some kind of like temple
And,
or meeting place.
Hmm.
And in terms of cameras, there do appear to be there's like one set of cameras. Like it takes you a bit to poke around, but you see that the main entrance to this temple is here on this side of the building, and there is a camera mounted on the ceiling of the interior of the lobby that sees the lobby and out the door.
Okay.
But if for example you were launching your mission during the night, which you are supposed to be, the temple has its hours and after hours posted, and in theory these big doors should be closed when you are doing your job.
You know what would make the convoy
if
stop?
possible, while
Sorry, you go.
if possible, while Locky is doing that, I'd like him to be able to bring up a sort of like blueprint or in a map of the service tunnels, sewer lines, as well as any let's say power lines as well that might
Okay.
feed through the floor or above ground.
All the power lines are under the surface in this location, and there probably would be. Amusingly enough, I have in real life just had to investigate where it is that people put sewer lines in reality, just because of a life thing. I describe after the show. The sewer lines would normally run under the pavement if they were decently small. So I'd say that there would be some sewer lines that just run along the pavements on the exterior of the buildings, but would converge into a more unified network at certain points. I'd say that there would probably be one maybe here on that corner. So the various adjacent buildings kind of have branches off from their pavements and converge there, where their pipes would then be carried down and away.
You know,
No, sorry, go.
you know what would make the convoy stop? I mean, we need a big enough distraction, but it's got to be unrelated enough. And Darius turns and points to the top of the building. A suicide. We dress up a dummy, add stuff some pork meat or some shit in it, and throw it off the roof of the building.
Yeah, but then once they spot the dummy, then they realize that it's a disguise, distraction.
Sure. Or who says it's a dummy?
Bring up
What knowledge do
um
I have of morgues in the city, actually, Rory?
Oh God, it's horrifying that you probably would know about more.
He would.
Yeah. Just make me. I'd like just like a flat intelligence check, just to like dig into your memories and go, who do I know? What can I do?
Yeah,
That's 6 plus
Okay.
whatever modifiers you have.
+1.
+1.
7.
I don't know. I'm honestly just gonna have to do a little cursory Google.
Hey Darius, can you bring up any information about this temple, like what religion it is, what holy days they have, or special ceremonies or anything, or if it's got a bit of discourse, because we could use that potentially to our advantage too.
My dad, being a relatively conservative, indoctrinated person, is probably a worshipper at a temple like this.
Yes. Well,
Or this one, even, maybe.
I just did a cursory Google to refresh my memory, and I believe in a lot of Islamic faiths, the practice is to get a body in the ground as quickly as possible after death.
Good point. Yes,
So-
you're right.
So the window between someone dying and someone being buried would be relatively narrow.
So no fake body.
I mean, if you timed it right, yes, but it would be more difficult than in a more Earth it was Western culture.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah, temple. Hang on a sec. And I'm just gonna scan my memory.
You probably might have visited this temple a few times in your youth, but were probably told not to come back after being Darius.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's it kind of smacks of American megachurch where it's needlessly large and can seat far too many people, but it's in a CBD, so it's somewhat justified.
Yep.
The religious ceremonies are very loud and involved.
Yeah. I just shrug at Locky and go, what do you want to know? Standard money-grabbing scumbags.
Just if there was something we could use to our advantage, like a late night sermon or something like that.
Hang on.
I imagine most guards wouldn't bat an eye at religious folk around here.
I'm going to do a quick space Google on my internal comms about the temple just to see if it's got any events.
Sure. I'm trying to remember the date. Okay, so it's October the 10th. No, it's August the 10th on the current date. The job being proposed is the 12th of August. So
I will Google that. Maybe there's...
So the
20th of August is the closest.
well, interestingly enough, Do Islamic faiths practice the Sabbath on a Saturday because it's a Saturday, the 12th of August?
No.
No. So then it would not be any special occasion.
Nah, sorry, Locky. Probably not.
Alright, so that's not an entry point then. What's the likelihood of suicides around this area, anyways?
I mean, have you seen this place?
Good call.
Look, honestly, they're probably pretty low. Most people are too indoctrinated and conservative. They actually believe the bullshit they're fed.
What's the likelihood that the convoy starts on site, or does it come from another location?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, we know it's coming from inside the military building, but does it start from there, or do they, get the units from somewhere else and then just come in, grab what they need, and then go out?
Considering the server that's being moved, it would take time to move it in, set it up, all of that sort of shit. I would assume the truck is already inside the base, but that's just me taking a few guesses.
Darius,
Sorry.
I have a query.
Yeah?
Are you familiar with the Yakutan military's playbook of sorts? What are their procedures?
Bits and pieces. What specifically?
What to do in case of emergencies? If we were to see a list of emergencies, we could possibly pick the one that is most beneficial to us.
I would know emergencies off planet, but I wouldn't know what happened if happened on planet. Hang on a sec. Rory, can I history check that?
Yeah, sure thing.
Alice. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm spaced out. 5 and a 3.
What kind of emergency?
Yeah, I mean, it breaks down to what kind of emergency. If we're talking a suicide, well, humans are humans. I assume they'd stop.
Yeah.
But are you talking gas leak?
I'm talking we will have to look at a list of emergency situations and what procedures they will have to take given the emergency, and then we select the emergency that is most beneficial. For example, if their response to a suicide is to divert their path, we will have a ability to divert them. If, say, one of their procedures is to stop in case of an emergency, we will have the power to stop them. As long as we know the procedures to which emergencies, we can choose which emergency to control their procedures.
Fair.
So the main breakdown for a suicide would be if there was time to act before the person actually jumped, they would likely cordon off the attempts to catch them, as I believe most people do, just in case, like big inflatable crash mat thing, get the fire department on site. And so if somebody were, for example, on the top of this tower and was threatening to jump down into the street would more than likely be cordoned off in response to that.
And if they were there, they would probably be the ones doing it. But I reckon if there was an explosion or a gas leak, the military, they've got a job to do. They'd probably just step on the gas.
I think the same thing would happen with suicide, to be honest. Depends how important this cargo is if their orders are to stop for nothing.
Perhaps
True.
we should make it so that the accident or emergency will involve severe civilian casualties.
I sort of just raise an eyebrow and look at him for a second.
Don't worry, not actually. A false positive, like a bomb, but not a bomb. A box that looks like one.
Well, I mean, I had the idea of blowing up something a little less important, a little less inhabited, causing a bit of a distraction, make it look like, just a general terrorist attack. I assume they have a few of them around here.
Well,
Perhaps.
I mean, look at the temple.
Hmm.
I'd like to see
I
that
had-
thing go down anyway.
There is one thing of note in regards to the temple that does kind of tickle you a bit. Locky looking at it,
Mm.
you see how on the map it appears that a road runs underneath it.
Yep.
That's because it does. There are buildings built up on 3 stories on each side, but above 3 stories, the temple just runs across the road, and you feel like a well-placed explosive along the span of that overpass that goes over the road could cause some real problems if you place it right.
I mean, it's an idea, but the more checks they do to ensure normalcy of all of their shit afterwards, the more problems I'm going to have.
Still, that could give us a way in.
Do we have a
But-
way of accessing their playbook?
How long would it take you to download whatever information it is?
Me
Uh,
or Darius?
If I had Primal on my hands, quick. If I don't, who knows?
I have a data slab. That is about it.
Problem is the data slab's fine, but Primal could help me organize the data quickly. Force it in, if you get my meaning.
I suppose I can be in place of Primal in this sense. I am quite competent in my hacking ability.
But also less disposable.
Indeed. And
I think that's the
untouched.
nicest thing you've ever said to Pim.
Do we hug now?
Let's have a look down the main
You're
road,
silent.
see if there's any more cameras along there.
Okay, so you proceed.
I can't get
oh,
the music working again. So sad. I was enjoying it.
so
All I
you-
imagine is Mission Impossible. Bum,
So you
bum, bum, bum,
proceed
bum, 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 bum,
down the
bum.
road and around the corner. The main takeaway you see kind of walking up and down is it's a lot of like semi to high rise residential buildings. So like it would be the first 5 or 10 floors of the towers would be offices, and then up 10 20 more floors would be apartments and things like that, and they are set up in a quite similar way to the temple cameras, where it is a camera that simultaneously looks at the lobby and also has an angle on outside. So if you were caught in that camera, you would be kind of further away, somewhat relatively out of focus compared to what the camera was aiming for, but still an issue. There are some blind spots kind of in between lobbies, but they're not super large.
What type of cameras are there?
They're like regular. I mean, I'd say probably installed by a security company, so not like off the shelf. They're decent, but not military grade.
Magnesium.
The
I'd rather not do something so obvious, but hey, actually, I'm going to reach into my pocket and pull out one of my line shunts and just toss it to Pim.
Mhm.
Just in case you need it, it might be useful.
Very well.
So the 3 other kind of structures, buildings of note along this main road is this one here is actually a flower garden kind of setup. The 5 buildings along the front are relatively older than the ones in the rear, kind of only like an max of 5 stories tall, and there's a large hydroponic garden set up behind it. It looks like it's you get the feeling that like old people live there and have just refused to move. Over here, kind of these 3 buildings all together is kind of akin to like Melbourne Central, Emporium Melbourne, and things like that, where it's lots of interconnected shopping centers that are tethered together by sky bridges to make going to and from easier.
Is there any on the sky bridges? Is there any windows or open areas, or is it all enclosed?
On these sky bridges, there is a solid, gentle angled roof, and the sides are all glass with columns intermittently along.
Ooh, Die Hard moment.
So, two things that I really want to do is stay here till about the same time the convoy would be going through here tonight to see what buildings are still open, like for potential witnesses or distractions. And then also I want to see what the uniforms of the guards are and see if we can potentially make a duplicate.
Don't
Okay,
forget
so-
tonight is party night.
Yeah.
Indeed. So it sounds like you are going to be just like walking up and down the street for most of the day, just like casing the joint, seeing how things change as time goes on. And
I
trying to
feel
get
like anything
eyes on-
technical Darius and PIMM are going to be able to do, but actually scouting the site, I can do that part.
I'm bringing up blueprints and maps
Well-
of the area, as well as any relevant information on shops.
Well,
and stuff.
Locky, can you please make me a tactics roll?
I can indeed.
It's absolutely appropriate for the situation.
Oh, that's not bad. What's my bonus? That's an 11.
Ooh,
Nice.
yeah, okay.
Very pretty.
So you kind of carry on for a few hours, just walking back and forth, up and down. The main takeaway you get from a lot of this, potentially one of the most important things you see, is that some of these buildings have doormen, and some do not. So like a person who stands outside and is like, yes, hello sir, hello ma'am, helps people with like bags and luggage and just helps them come and go. Those are the more like fancy buildings, whereas the ones without doormen are smaller and less well-to-do. You probably catch a glimpse of roaming like military police in the area as well, but they're just like perpetually present occasionally because it's that kind of a town. In terms of on-site security, I'd say there would be. I mean, considering the fact that it's lots of residential and office buildings all along the same street, I'd say that there would be, for a lot of them, like shared guards. So guards that just patrol up and down these same streets, checking in, making sure people get home okay, and just making sure things are safe. And you get a bead on their uniforms as being like simple, like navy blue, military-esque fatigues, like chunky belt of toys, all that jazz, and a simple hat.
Is there any cafes or bars down the street at all?
Cafes or bars, there's probably one on the corner of this florist setup, as well as one or two kind of in the lobbies or built along the length of the street. So there's a few.
One thing I do have is a hollow pad. I mean, if we put that down just before the middle of the convoy and I projected, I don't know, say a homeless person walking out in front of the car.
How evil are these people? Will they run him over?
I don't think so. They're not malicious usually, just misguided.
That remains to be seen.
It takes all sorts, Pim. I was one of them, remember?
I also want to see if I can get up onto the roof of that overpass and see what kind of blind spots it's got.
So you are. I'd say it takes you like maybe half an hour to suss it out. But with your tactics roll, like you from the outside see that there is a ladder that leads up from the interior to the roof of the overpass, and it probably takes you about 5 minutes of just puzzling around roughly where it should be to find the right like utility cupboard that you think would go up there. It's locked at present, and you could like pick it or break in if you wanted, but you think you know how to get up there if you wanted to.
Okay. Alright. Got a few options.
Yeah. Well, while you continue to ponder and think on that, I think it's time to cut away to the other half of the party, because I have given you some spicy information. So, can I? I should have prepared this earlier. No, it's too depressive. I want to find. You know what? I'll go Cyberpunk City. And do I have a market thing? That could be. That could work.
Before we leave, Catalina is going to ask Ava and Sparks to look into the senator that is sponsoring my sister.
Yes, Senator Jakob Hanna.
Mm-hmm.
For a quick
Okay.
note, how long have we been on planet?
A day.
Oh, that's a bit messy.
This is the
It's
first day we've been
been-
on planet.
Yeah, this is the first day.
So it's still the first day.
Still the first day. And you're probably feeling not great, Dr. Charles, I imagine.
Well, going by the mental effect saves that I've been taking every now and again since we got here, no,
Mhm.
he's not feeling great. He probably looks a little worse for wear. He's probably got some of the sweats going,
Yeah.
and his head's probably pounding.
Okay. So you give Ava and Sparks this suggestion, and Sparks says, sure, I'll do the best I can. He's a pretty secretive guy though, so I may not be able to work any miracles.
Don't worry, I believe in your skills.
You.
What,
I'll
you're
see what they
telling
can
me
do.
you can't do something that I'm sure Darius could do?
I beg your pardon?
Come on, we both know it. Prove me wrong. I challenge you.
He looks genuinely annoyed at you.
But he would also realize that she's being just a twat.
Oh.
And she's riling him up on purpose.
Don't make me get better with that dagger catapult.
Okay. I'm just saying you are very skilled and I believe in you, okay?
I am very skilled, and I believe in me too. Now go away. I'm gonna get to work.
Aye, Captain. She gives him
Okay.
the cheekiest grin because she knows she's just like annoyed him.
Mm-hmm. So the three of you pile into yet another taxi. Or if you want, you could like take one of the cars in the resistance base.
First of all, do we have access to our stuff yet?
No,
Has it
it's
come
not.
in yet?
It has not yet been intercepted.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say you pile into the red hatchback that's parked in the base's garage, and you drive out to the market. Just by sheer coincidence, because I wanted to be so. It just so happens that today is the day, or that your sister usually goes about her business. And based on where she lives, I'd say the market is this one. It's the market square towards the north of the old city, to the west of the upper class housing district. Kind of, it's in between the upper class housing and the military district.
Wait, where? Dimitri! You are muted.
I'm also falling asleep.
Don't sleep while driving. It's very important that you don't. Where are we now?
In a city.
I meant, Rory, can you point out where we are?
Yes, I will obtain player markers. No, wrong layer. Bish, bash, bosh, bish. Back over here. You are here in the market. This spot.
Oh. Okay. Now I know where we are on the map.
Yes, up to the
At
north.
the opposite end of the city from
Yes,
where we started.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very
exactly.
big map.
It is a very big map. I am simultaneously proud and daunted by what I've made here. So the three of you park the car somewhere, jump out of the vehicle, and make your way into the city, or into the market.
Now
What do you do now that you're here?
Katalina will have reminded everyone that she can only speak Farsi. And she's put her makeup on and she's got her shawl back on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably wearing my translator thing
Sure.
so that I can actually understand whatever she says.
It's the translator talk is kind of akin to a present-day technology used for people who are hard of hearing. So it has part of it like a single earpiece for one ear, and you wear like a metallic necklace that has a built-in microphone and processor. So the microphone hears other people speaking, or you translates it for you, and then if you speak the uh, the system hears your voice, and then from a small speaker built in will speak out in Farsi after a small delay.
There. I'm probably just. I get out of the car and I'm just sort of like standing there like it's too noisy.
Yes, it's quite busy and bustling in this marketplace. There's a lot of yelling and haggling, and now that you have the talk in, you can hear all of it. Though it's all being spoken in like hello. I wish to buy 2 fishes, please. What was that? You wish to buy 2 fishes? Of course. That will be 7 credits. 7 credits? That is outrageous. I shall be taking my business elsewhere. What? I guarantee you will find no better. Just like it's very monotone, but you get the gist.
This parrot is dead.
Catalina turns to Charles with his grumbling face and says, "You chose to be there. You chose to be here."
I chose nothing. You said you needed help. I'm here to help. I just need my regalia back.
Don't say that too loudly.
Dimitri, meanwhile, is at different stands, like picking up sugary sweets and stuffing it in his face and just throwing coins at people because I have no idea what the fuck they're saying.
Yeah, like there's really like you've been here a few times, and while it's not a great culture in terms of the people, there's good food. There's like amazing like Turkish delights and other boiled sweets on sale.
Then I'm in the spice stand and I'm like smelling things and tasting things. And
Catalina's gonna like elbow him in the side and be like, and just whisper in his ear, "Remember what we're here for."
Duh, we are here to buy. Oh, wait, you don't. No, because you don't understand.
And then
Okay.
she'll respond in Farsi. I don't speak what you're speaking.
I was like, okay, so you have
Thinking, like,
basically.
is this the only Farsi I know? I don't understand Farsi.
So you, Catalina, have like a basic recollection of the kind of stalls that were frequented by Ani during her time paying a visit. It was normally things like the greengrocer, perhaps the baker occasionally, and they kind of have their own corner of the market that's probably around here in this area.
Catalina will like probably pull out her compad and like message the two guys she's with, so Charles and Dimitri. So do we want to split up and spread out and then ping each other if we see anything?
Sure.
Sure.
And then Catalina would have shown them a picture of what she looked like. Actually, no,
Yeah.
they would have seen a picture of what she looked like when we were back at the base. When we were going over the case, yeah.
So the three of you are all going to disperse into the crowd and start walking around. So can you all please make me perception checks?
Oh, maybe. That's actually pretty good.
Maybe, I like it.
Let me open my character sheet and I can tell you what it is.
Yeah, that was good.
Perception, I got a 10 in total.
I got 11.
I got
Okay,
a 6! Didn't recognize
Cool.
my own sister.
You're too
it's
distracted by the shiny gold lamps, yeah?
I feel like Catalina's probably just feeling too anxious.
Yes, and is a bit distracted by all the noise, and perhaps is a bit overwhelmed by being back here after all this time. So, Katalina, you kind of stick close to the fountain towards the center of the square, kind of just sitting politely, like you're just there to experience the atmosphere, but are simultaneously just like combing the crowd with your eyes. Whereas Dimitri and Dr. Charles kind of unintentionally pull off like a pincer maneuver where one approaches the area from one side and the other approaches from the other. And I'd say, Dr. Charles, you probably see a figure in the crowd ever so slightly after Dimitri does. And you see somebody wearing heavy black Yakutan garb, but bearing a very familiar chin and nose of the Sokolov family, just like happily, contently browsing for fruits at a fruit stand.
As soon as I see her, I'm gonna pull out my compad and sort of give like in what direction she is, like at what stand she's currently standing at, and send it to both Dimitri and Catalina.
In the group chat.
Yeah, basically.
Once
Okay.
Catalina receives that, she'll get up slowly and quietly and just sort of mosey along nonchalantly. She's not going to rush there.
Okay, you like squeeze between these two stalls and like poke your head around the corner. You see the Dr. Charles like off here, and just like poke your head around the corner as though you're admiring like a nice ornate clock that's on one of these stands, and you just see her across the crowd.
Catalina is... Oh, sorry, no, you go.
I could say, so I'm like in chat, I'm like, so what are we doing? Just watching her?
Catalina responds, finding out if she's okay, brainwashed, or has a gun to her head.
You want me to like bump into her by accident?
She'll be like, it's either me or you.
Does she stay at the fruit stand or does she go somewhere else?
I'd say she isn't there for too long and probably make some purchases, pull out some cloth bags, puts them away, and then it seems to be like moving on down the line and is getting closer to Catalina, just like browsing the stalls.
Is there a store nearby with lamps?
Yes, it seems that the one being stood up by Catalina has a variety of weird, like, brass and other dodgy metallic knickknacks. It seems a bit out of place in this market, considering how close it is to a nice neighborhood.
I head for this, hoping to intercept her, and when I get there, if she's nearby, I'm going to, like, start looking and, like, hey, miss, what do you think of these lamps? Any good? Worth the price?
You address this to her.
Duh.
Okay. You kind of like hold up this nice like curvy lamp with a very provocative lampshade on the end, and she just turns to you and says, "No, I don't have any money," and just keeps on shopping.
Did she respond in Farsi or Russian?
She responds in common because I assume that she was spoken to in common by Dimitri. No, English. Brain.
That's okay. My brain still goes common as well.
D&D
Yeah.
brain.
So she sees you, replies to you, and just keeps on shopping.
So Catalina's
She hears me,
observing.
replies to me. I don't know if she sees me.
Sorry?
I was like, she hears me. I think of it like not interested in. You know when you're walking around the shopping centres and there's people going, hey, 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 and you just glide past. I don't have any money. Yeah, that's.
She didn't recognize Dimitri at all?
I'd say that Nick is right. It was like a half glance at best in his direction, so didn't
Didn't look at them. Try to, as I said, when you're in the supermarkets around or the shopping centres around here, and you just glide past the people in the middle trying to foist shit on you.
Yeah. But you know that if you recognize the person and you like half glance in that direction, you'll like glance, walk for a bit, and go, "Oh, it's my friend!" As I'm sure you've experienced. So you kind of wait for the moment of, "Oh, it's okay. She'll recognize him in just a minute," but that moment doesn't come. She keeps on browsing.
Molly.
Yeah.
See you, the young lady over there in the dark.
I do. Oh, she's buying tomatoes.
Oh dear.
Can we buy tomatoes while we're here?
Duh, we can buy tomatoes.
Okay.
And any other fruit or vegetable that you would like.
I want to try one of all of them.
Damn it.
At this stand that I'm at,
Yeah.
is there like some sort of like trinket, like a necklace or such that has like a flower or something? Just nothing's too expensive or elaborate, just simple and pretty.
Make me a luck save.
17.
17. Okay, you can probably find with a flower motif, probably like a pair of, actually no, like a chunky looking metallic like bracelet with like a flower engraved into the top of it with like vines coming out of it and wrapping around the edge of it.
Okay, Catalina's gonna purchase it.
Okay. It'll cost you 50 credits.
Subtle should I be with this?
I don't know. How subtle do you want me to be? Because I could just like be all like, hello, brain. You know me.
Can you look into her brain without announcing your presence?
I can, but I need to just. That'll just be like dipping a toe in. If I try and if I try and access what she isn't immediately thinking about, she may notice.
No, I just want to know if her mind is clear or whether it is like clouded by something.
Okay, I'll have a look. And Molly uses her ability, reaches into Annie's mind, and she's probably. You probably hear like, okay, I've got the pomegranates and the bananas and the tomatoes. Ooh, I mustn't forget the bananas. Master loves bananas. He really likes them on his cereal. Okay. And then she just like proceeds to hustle off and is going to find bananas. She feels psychically unburdened, but I'd say you probably perceive a bit of a spike of mental anxiety when she thinks about her master.
Can I hand her bananas?
Sure thing. So she has moved on somewhat in this direction, and like you can like loop around, and so she is like actively browsing up and down a banana stand, and you just approach her, pick up a nice looking plump bunch of bananas, and just like hand them to her.
And I will say in Russian, I think you were looking for these.
She she kind of looks over to you and looks thankful to see nice bananas, but just says in English, "I'm sorry, I don't speak." Was that Russian?
I say, yes, it is Russian, in Russian.
Thank you. And she looks like a bit confused and just pays for the bananas and walks in the opposite direction, as though this is the second time she's seen you now and is potentially a bit concerned for her well-being. So she's just walking away.
Has Catalina sensed all of this, or seen all of this?
You've seen the exchange, and you're close enough to be like reading her facial expression from the interactions with Dimitri.
Which is just total confusion, because
yeah,
who the fuck is this guy? Yeah, I pretend to walk. I don't pretend. I just walk further into the store. And I pull out my combat. I'm like, she's not recognize me.
Catalina is gonna walk up behind her. Kneel down on the ground, and stand back up with the bracelet she just bought. And in Farsi, ask her, sorry miss, I think, did you drop this? I just found it on the floor behind you.
So she kind of like hears the Farsi, turns around, faces you and says, "Oh, hello. No, I don't think that's mine. I don't really wear much jewelry. It could have been hers over there. She's wearing nice jewelry."
No recognition?
No.
Does she look like Annie?
She looks exactly like your sister. You even recognize like a small scar on her nose that you were present when she received when she was like 7.
Canon is like, sorry to disturb you then. I thought it was yours. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Yes, of course, you too. And then she just keeps on walking away in this direction.
Catalina's gonna put the bracelet in her pocket and message the group and be like, yeah, nah, something's fucked. She's not herself. She has no idea who I am.
She did not even check the banana that I had to. But anyway. I don't know what the next step is, but Molly and I need to buy half of this fruit stand.
I would say kidnapping her.
You're not there!
You just said you messaged the group.
It's just like Dimitri and
like
Charles.
Text.
So that we don't like harass you guys who are on a much more important scary thing to
Time
do.
critical
Time,
thing.
yeah. So we don't disturb you guys.
No, it was unclear.
No, all good. That's why I was clarifying. Sorry, Chris. Catalina will catch back up with Charles and Dimitri. Actually, no, she will message them and say, I'm going to follow Arnie for a bit.
Okay. Meanwhile,
I am also going to. I'm going to follow Catalina, but before that, are there any stalls in this place that sell any alcohol?
Yes, there probably would be.
I'm going to go to the nearest store that sells some form of alcohol, buy a bottle, and then start following Catalina while like opening the bottle and taking sips to try and numb the fire in my head.
So you are quite literally brown bagging.
Yep. Because I don't have any of my painkillers on me, so the only way to deal with the pain is to numb it. Alcohol numbs. I'll pay for it later, but it'll work for now.
So you probably spend like 30 credits on a not very good bottle of sake.
That'll work.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, he doesn't care. He just wants the pain to stop.
Okay.
At least for a little bit.
Yep. You take a sip, and in the moments after that, your brain starts to like swim a little bit less, and you begin to feel a nice gentle buzz coming on. And then you proceed in following Catalina, who is following Arnie. So, Catalina, can you please make me a stealth check?
Okay.
As you are trying to follow her.
Would this be
surreptitiously?
profession and... Oh, no, stealth.
Stealth. So, stealth with dexterity.
Wouldn't be profession?
I think just stealth is fine in this situation.
Okay. I
Oh, boy.
fail.
What'd you get?
5.
Okay, so I rolled like a flippin' 10 on the dice for Arnie.
I knew I would fail this roll.
Yeah.
I just had a feeling.
So she's so after her two encounters with Dimitri, it seems like her hackles are somewhat raised, and she seems like after glancing over her shoulder a few too many times and seeing you looking at her, she'll probably like hastily complete her shopping and is then going to begin making her way towards the edge of the market. Like, she looks uncomfortable.
As soon as Catalina has a feeling that she's been noticed, she'll disappear from Arnie's view.
Okay. So, Dr. Charles, since you were keeping like a wider, more loose follow from Arnie, you don't have to stealth, and you can follow Catalina pretty easily. You see that she kind of like breaks off from her follow after about 5 more minutes of shopping.
Catalina's going to watch from a distance and just keep Arnie in her view.
Okay. Well, she probably remains in your view until she walks to the edge of the market and probably just jumps on the closest bus. You like check the name on the bus. It doesn't look like it's going where she wants to go, just based on your understanding of neighborhoods, but she's just getting on a bus to get away from here.
Right.
So
Scared her.
she's feeling a bit nervous, which isn't something that you would have considered part of your sister's personality either. Like, she is normally the person to just like walk up to the creep and ask him what the hell his problem is, not like sheepishly get away.
She's a little Catalina.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, she gives no shits. Except she's probably a little bit nicer than Catalina. Or in Catalina's mind, a better person.
Yes. She hops on a bus and rides off to parts unknown.
Catalina's probably going to wander back over to the fountain at this point and just sit down thinking.
Okay.
Katalina is going to see Dimitri walk past with like, well, she's going to see Dimitri-shaped fruit walk past with a molly perched on the top, going go left, go right, go left. Yeah, pretty much.
As he walks past, I'm gonna sort of like see one of the topmost fruits, so I'm not gonna disturb the integrity of the stack and just sort of telekinetically point towards myself.
Okay. Please. You kind of like look up, and do like a very subtle like gesture, so it could be assumed that he stumbled a bit and it fell, and you just like watch a nice juicy mango topple off the top of the pile and just land in your hands.
And I'm just gonna be like, yep. I'm like gonna walk over to Catalina and be like, "Do you have your knife on you?"
Yeah, she's like, in Farsi. Normally, circumstances, it's attached.
Yeah. Sort of like go through my bag, like, scalpel.
Yeah. Scalpel. Yep. I can crack open, score it, and then invert the skin.
And then I just sort of like go to hand one to Catalina and be like, "Hungry?"
She'll accept a piece, but she's kind of very absent-minded. She doesn't even realize what you've handed her.
Figured. I'm gonna sit there eating it while washing it down with my sake.
Molly,
And just sort of think.
Yeah.
this pile seems to be one mango lighter. Did we lose something?
Yeah. I think Dr. Charles is eating it.
He probably needs it. I'll leave him alone this time.
Yeah, he's really pale.
No, he's always very pale.
Especially pale.
Maybe he's sick.
Maybe. And then you hear the sound of nomming as the pile begins to shift, and Molly just starts burrowing in from the top.
Looking for the tomatoes, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I rolled a 10 on perception.
Oh, yeah. One mango light. That's a powerful grip. So, you have encountered Arnie and gained some information. What do you want to do now?
Probably just wander the market a bit and just gather some general information, like just eavesdropping on conversations and stuff like that, before heading back to the old folks' home.
Okay.
Which is where I
I'll be-
presume that we've decided to reconvene later.
I'm looking for some kind of conveyance to get my giant pile of fruit back to that.
In the car! We brought the car! You drove.
Yeah.
You
I just do not remember this.
It's all good.
You fell asleep at the wheel. Good thing it was automatic.
Okay. Some of the things that you would take away from just like general market chatter. In fact, roll me a perception check just to see what kind of information you obtained from your eavesdropping.
6.
Okay.
Unless I can
Well-
use profession, in which case it's 7.
It's just perception. You probably hear the general murmurings of the market, like, "Oh boy, I sure do love the cucumber crop this time of year. It's coming in really nicely." So just general expected market chatter of, "Yes, this stuff's good this time of year. This stuff's bad. How much?" So on and so forth. But you do probably hear some excited chatter of, "Guys, you wouldn't believe it. My brother got that job he was going for," and other people go, "Really? Oh yeah, which job was it again?" And they say, "Yeah, the job assembling those new warships." And they go, "Really? It's a really good job." And then this first person goes, "Yeah, he was really, really, really keen about it, and now it's great. It's so good that the Senate's hiring all these new people to build these ships. It's really good for the economy, and just like more chatter along those lines.
Can I like listen in more on that conversation?
Sure. As you just like do a loose shadow on the chatter and walk behind them a bit, it doesn't hold on that topic for long. It just kind of, I'd say it goes into the expected logistics of, oh yeah, are the hours good? And it's like, yeah, they're pretty good, but he needs to move out. What? Why? Well, they like having their workers and engineers on site during the builds, just to cut down on construction time. It's like a whole thing, and it's more secure too, to save people coming and going from site. So, you guys have any spare boxes? And they're like, sorry, no. And they're like, oh, well, that's fine. And then the conversation tails off into like, ooh, papaya.
Ooh, papaya.
Yeah.
Catalina's gonna do a quick Google search on this job.
Okay. Sure thing. It doesn't take much to come up. In fact, it's
Spoggle.
probably the equivalent of the like advertised thing works like hiring now, come work for the Yakutan government, and it's just like a website dedicated to job listings. And you can see that there's a few other postings that are similar. It's like baseline engineer work will be off planet in orbit, constructing the new Yakutan strike fleet to extend the hand of peace to all those who need it.
Okay. She's gonna save that information for later. Take note of the company that's, if it's stated what company's hiring, and
It's the government.
and look into if they're accepting any more applicants.
They are, yes.
Stow that away for later. And it's to build warships?
Yes, it is to work in orbit building warships.
I see this ending badly. Spike drives.
I swear to God, Christian, stop trying to blow up more spike drives.
I don't have to blow them up. I could just make sure that theirs don't work.
That's true. Okay, so you've done some scouting, gained some information, and I assume the three of you pile into the hatchback with the like rear back seat half covered in fruit being devoured by Molly as you drive back to the secret base.
Sure.
Oh, no, like, Catalina probably insists on driving and makes Dimitri and Molly sit in the back with all the fruit.
The fruit is not in the back. The fruit is on the top.
So is Molly.
There.
Oh dear, poor Molly.
She's loving
Don't
it.
take the corners too fast or we will lose everything.
I mean, you're talking to Catalina. She's a bit of a daredevil, but she'll drive safely.
Yes. You will more than likely hear some psychic in your head as you're driving back to the headquarters. So, that reconnaissance mission is done. We are now going to cut back to the scouting team, who based on the sheer length of the exchange that I haven't had the benefit of actually reading through, you've been doing some jolly good scheming
A little
while
bit,
I've been
yes.
away. So please, by all means, tell me your plans.
Some theorizing.
Yep.
So, well, we want to have a look, see. I believe we got confirmation that there are some billboards and like the screen-based billboards and advertising points along the street as well.
Of course.
So they could be hackable and put up some anti-government propaganda. That should cause a nice little distraction, because I'm basing it off the logic that this place is so heavily hiding the truth from their people that the moment they see anything that could possibly jeopardize that, it's priority one. Get this shit off the air. So I imagine even the convoy would stop to try and, disable these billboards if they found something like that.
Immediately get new orders coming from command telling them to stop and do it.
Yeah, especially if Darius drops one of these juicy little truth bombs that he's got. He's still got that info on hand.
I would have copied it, yeah.
Sure.
Another option we were looking
there's
at
also-
was potentially getting Darius another what was it called?
Data face tap.
Yeah, seeing as his one kind of went wee out the airlock.
Yeah.
So we need to get him a new one.
Unfortunate. Well,
Because he can't hack the truck from the outside without one. And he can't get inside the truck without the guard that's in the back of the truck going, the fuck are you doing?
the guard is like in the cab with the driver.
Ah, I thought you said last session
He's
that he was
not
in
in
the
the-
back. Oh, this makes this so much easier.
Yeah, I'm just sat there thinking, how do
Sorry,
we
guys.
take care
Sorry,
of the
confusion.
guard without the guard knowing? While
Okay,
not
well,
alerting anyone.
Done. This is
Apologies for the
easy.
confusion.
That makes this literally infinitesimally easier.
So a
It's
tiny bit
just
easier.
the back guard we need to worry about because they're the ones who have eyes on the car, on the back of the car in front.
Yep, so we just need
Oh,
a
okay.
distraction.
So are there any manhole covers that I could reroute water through so that it busts up and causes a spray of water between them and the truck in front?
Manhole cover? No. Fire hydrant. Probably your best bet would be if there was one built into the pavement on the side of the road.
I probably have a better solution than that. But one thing I want to do first is, do I know much about these trucks? Have I ever used them?
Space station trucks.
It's just like they're kind of akin to like your basic big rig lorry.
Yep. And the
Uh,
lock on the back, is it electronic or physical?
I think it would be a bit of both. And I mean, well, I think it might vary depending on how secure people want the thing inside to be. So you don't know, because if this target is as important as it seems, then perhaps they've gone the extra mile to make it very secure, just in case.
Right. So actually breaking the lock on the back could be a problem.
If it's a non-hackable physical lock, you would need to like pick it or bust it.
I feel like you would know that that's one of Catalina's skills.
So we got two options. We get you a data phase and get you under the truck. Or if we can't get that, we get you in the back of the truck, but we distract the rear car somehow.
Distracting the rear car. That sounds like it could be fun. I have several ideas.
It's got to be a distraction that is sufficiently distant from anything else, though.
And doesn't look like a distraction.
Yeah.
Something that isn't dangerous. Something that will obscure view or attract it without alerting them.
And
Pretty much.
we'll also need two distractions. We've got a distraction to get you in, and then a distraction to get it out.
I mean,
I don't suppose Sparks Rorschach test.
getting out isn't that much of a problem.
Well, they can't see you get out of either.
No.
Perhaps an oil spill or something to make them slip or skid in their car.
The billboard's idea will divert their attention for a while, I think.
Why going under the truck? It's probably easier to get on the top of it.
No other
That
passes
puts you in
beforehand.
view of everyone.
So let's move it back and do it later.
Not enough time.
Not enough time to
and
get
there
you
are
off it.
high-rise buildings. Definitely a lot of windows.
And under is safer.
All right.
But that again only works if we can get you that tap, so we can get you to hack it remotely.
What would I have to do to make a database tab?
That would be a pretty tall order. As a piece of technology, they are very heavily regulated. They are normally used by licensed technicians and electricians. In fact, that's how Darius obtained it in the first place. Back on Alptis, he found that shady guy who basically had a friend who was prepared to pretend that he got robbed.
He actually bombed out and failed, if you remember correctly, and I did a job for the immersion to get it.
Yes, but yeah, that's a good point. He did a thing, and then got arrested, and you found his workshop closed because he'd been arrested. Oh yeah, and then yeah, so they're normally owned by licensed personnel. So if somebody has a database tab and doesn't have a license for it, that is immediately going to self red flags of who are you, why are you stolen this, what are you doing with it.
And even in this city, I imagine they would be particularly stringent about licensing on that. So if someone lost it, it would be like a stolen gun in Australia,
Basically,
in the sense that immediate police reports and investigations and shit like that.
yeah, because of the heavy immersion presence on this planet, they do take cybercrime quite seriously.
So let me get this straight. We got a heist for a database tab so that we can heist the convoy.
Probably
After
just
side missions, we can do this.
probably just not getting one.
That means you would have to actually get into the
I mean, we can always just ask.
Yeah, true. I'll
We can always ask Catalina's people as well. They might have one.
I'll shrug, punch Locky on the shoulder, and go, I guess I'll go visit them. Don't contact me while I do, because they get pissy about signals and shit like that.
Okay, so you're going to peel off from PIMM and Locky and go and try and arrange another meeting with the immersion.
Yep.
Okay. As you're kind of walking down the street, you pull out your compad and basically, I assume you send a message that's like, we need to meet up soon.
I probably would be even simpler than that. I would just be in the business to buy.
Okay. The response you get is, what's on the menu?
Line shunts, data phase tap, black slate with question marks after the last one.
The reply you get is, we can deal, but it'll take time.
How about for that truck? Need equipment.
That fast is tricky. I'll get back to you tomorrow.
And I'll just sort of do standard sign off, acknowledged, and then immediately wipe my phone and encrypt its archive.
Okay, please roll me a computers roll.
That's hacking my own gear with 3d6 drop 6. Hang on, Alice, can you roll that? 3d6 drop 6, drop lowest.
So 5 on the dice.
I sort of do it with a 9, and then I go, if I get busted and my phone's stolen, that's shitty enough anyway. So I don't really bother fixing it.
Okay. So you have a maybe in the works.
And then I just bring Locky back and Locky, yeah, that shit's hard to come by, even for the immersion.
Yeah, fair. I mean, we can always ask Catalina's crew, see if they've got something, and if not, go with option B.
All right. Fuck. Yeah, all right.
Just let me know if I'm making any new toys.
Actually, I've got an idea for a toy. I'll talk to you later.
I cannot wait.
I've got a good one actually, Pim.
Ooh, project.
Something small, compact, about the size of a dinner plate, that can expand in length to be about 1 meter tall.
Are you talking about cylindrical, or
Don't they
are
already
you
exist?
talking about radio?
A cylinder with pneumatics, pistons, or something. You know, something that you might like drive over that suddenly extends to about 1 meter, flipping a truck.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes, that's very doable.
Probably
It will
just
just
an
require some propulsion. I'll need some lightweight metal, but it should be easily done.
just as an emergency. I'd rather not use it, but
I can have it so that it cannot work very well and will be damaged easily from top down, but from side on, it will be virtually unmovable.
yeah, I don't know. Whatever you think would work in flipping a truck.
I'm going to experiment with this.
You guys are concerning me with these messages. I'm just gonna double check something. There is a piece of technology that kind of expands into a thing. I believe Katalina had one.
If you set that off with a landmine when something drove over it, could be fun.
It's an Instapanel. In its compressed form, an Instapanel is a 2 kilo cube of cereplast 5 centimeters on a side. When a Type A power cell is inserted into the cube side, it immediately expands to an opaque, waterproof cereplast sheet 2 meters on each side and a centimeter thick. 5 minutes later, the cereplast hardens into a rough, rigid shape, but until then it can be folded or bent by hand. Instapanels can be bonded to one another with a meta tool or a push-tech toolkit. Breaking an Instapanel requires inflicting at least 12 points of damage on it.
Yeah, which a truck driving over it almost certainly would do.
Correct.
I have just found something interesting. It's definitely out of character, but there is a something that requires gas. It's a engine, but its whole purpose is to expel pistons, and it's used to help submarines submerge and move back to the surface through its piston technology. One of these could possibly apply about 20 tons of force.
Okay. Well, if you were going to be building something like that, I'd say based on PIMM, your general intelligence, you would need to install it under a manhole cover. So they drive over the manhole cover. The piston carries the cover up, and together they ram into the underside of the vehicle and apply that force.
Let the research begin. I'm going to be focusing for about 10 minutes, guys.
Okay. So, plans are afoot. Is there any more information you wish to obtain from this scouting mission while you are still on site?
I had a list of stuff.
PIMM is currently just furiously googling like secondhand pneumatic, like spoogling secondhand industrial strength pneumatic pistons on like Space Gumtree or whatever.
I just want to scout out the guards themselves that would potentially be in the truck and see what kind of uniform they've got so we can replicate it.
Okay. Based
when
on
I-
the yeah.
Sorry.
Based on the information provided by Darius, the guard in the truck would be a military officer, and you've seen a number of them walking around, and it seems that their fatigues are pretty standard fare.
Okay.
I don't know if I've got enough time to start working on this, but I wouldn't have everything I need. Fuck. Okay, I would have at least one of the monoblade claws I would have snuck with me off
Sure.
Primal. Probably not all of my crafting equipment. But could I make something that's like a small handheld ballistic knife sort of thing that you hold against a lock and it just fires the monoblade into it?
Oh! What is the source of propulsion for the blade?
Probably some sort of compressed gas or even a small explosion. Like if I took a couple of Locky's sniper rifle rounds and took the gunpowder out of that and poured it into a small pipe barrel.
Okay, so it's going to make an amount of noise.
Oh yeah, it's going to sound like a sniper rifle shot.
Okay, I'd say you would need some like raw materials, but based on what you saw and heard about from the secret base, they would have the workshop and raw materials.
Sorry, you're breaking up a bit there.
If not what you have on hand, you could probably build something like it in the secret base.
Yeah, okay. But it's probably going to take me a bit of time.
It would be like a simple one-time use, boom and done key.
Yeah, now that I've thought of that, I'm going to put that on the list of things that I'm going to make under the guise of lockpick, ?
Okay.
It's a Darius lockpick.
Yep. Makes sense to me. Okay, so any other plans or shenanigans before you proceed off back to the base?
Probably not.
No, I
Okay.
think that's it.
Okay, you've gained all the information you need, and so you pile into a taxi and go back to the base and reconverge with the rest of the party. So, I assume there is a mutual debrief that occurs when the six of you are back in the same room.
I imagine, yeah.
Correct.
I'm going to choose something that this is the jauntier one. I like the jaunty one.
That is not sure that fits. Okay.
Secret base meeting time! I don't know.
Yeah, let's go with it.
Party reconverges. The librarian would probably not be present downstairs, and Sparks is probably like actively working away, typing as the six of you make your way back into the room. Ivan is probably has a tailor's dummy out and is like putting some more work on the suit for Locky. And Eva is probably trying on her gown for this evening and is just like walking around looking good. Hot damn, she makes everything look good.
Yep. There's a reason why Katalina looks up to her. She's hot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is. And so yeah, you walk on in. I think the market part crew would have made it back first. So the other three of you walk in, and you can say what you want. Actually,
Okay.
yeah.
Darius,
That like
Eva, I think you are the two that would know this the most. Also, welcome back. Glad you're here. We can talk about your thing in a minute. First, what do you know about the... Is it common
Use
practice?
your words, Catalina.
I know. Hang on. Is it common practice to brainwash people on this planet?
I mean, take a look around. They're all fucking brainwashed.
No. I mean, like, completely wipe personality brainwash.
Are you referring to the same thing that happened to our friend?
I don't know. Because I am very scared right now that maybe yes.
Darius just sort of shrugs and goes, eh.
Ava, any reports that you've heard of?
Not as far as I know, but it sounds like what Spock said in the debrief. Said that this man, this Hana, was the head senator of applied sciences. So if anybody was going to try it,
Duh, this is what worries me. She did not recognize Dimitri or myself, nor could she speak or understand Russian.
not at all.
At all.
That is Sarah.
Well, if it's something similar to what was in my head, I can fix it.
We would need to
I
find
just-
the backup of her personality, though, if this was the case.
No, I wouldn't. It's written to itself. The implant itself has to store the information it writes, otherwise it couldn't write back. Although, this is going to sound insensitive, but I should say it anyway. If they didn't bother storing the backup, and they used something like an identity submersion trigger, it can't be reversed.
I would rather know the facts.
Well,
There's
there is
one of
always indoctrination.
Indoctrination doesn't destroy someone's ability to speak a language.
She
I
did
meant
not
as a
recognize
way
at
to fix it.
It just makes things complicated if she does not remember who she is or who we are. That is all. This
Lucky,
troubles me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
what was this idea that you had? I wish to work on it while I'm working.
Come on over here a moment. I'll have a chat with you.
Oh, super secret time.
Sparks, how far did you get on the thing?
Sorry about
Oh.
redialing everyone. That was me changing
good.
from laptop to phone. Apologies.
Spock is just like typing away. He says, "Look, you guys are you guys are great and everything, but there's so much. Just I've been doing it one thing at a time. Okay, I was asked to send my spy drone off to Hana's estate and investigate what kind of power was being sent to his facility. It was above average. It seems that, based on my reconnaissance, he is indeed sending power to his home, perhaps to a lab facility on site that he uses to do work. But it wasn't excessive. It was just slightly excessive, if you catch my drift, Darius?
Yeah. Hey, actually, Sparks, with all of the sightings and times that you've seen Catalina's sisters, have any of them coincided or seemed impossible?
You mean that she was in two places at once or something?
Yes.
No, nothing like that. I always just saw her in the market and then on the bus home.
Okay.
In regards to finding out more about this man, I honestly did my best the first time. The main thing, I think the main takeaway I found from dealings. Oh, damn, he just rolled a 14.
Go Sparks.
Good stuff.
Yes, Sparks has the same +2 computers that Darius does.
Mine's higher than +2. It's +4.
So is his.
Huh. I thought you said +2, not +4.
No, he has.
Yeah. +2 as in 2, not as in as well as.
Exactly.
Sorry.
He is typing away and says, I have a few searches in the works, but there is one thing that could be of use to you. He has a certain proclivity for fine dining. It seems that he likes to frequent the classier establishments, especially classy restaurants, some new high-end bars that open up. It could be of use to you. Occasionally, he will make an evening of it with his wife, and at that point, he leaves his estate only guarded by his security.
Hmm.
It could be an opening for you if you were hoping to go on site and have a look around.
Okay, thank you, Sparks. Do you have a list of his favorite establishments?
Uh, it's currently still compiling. I just have some photos of the most recent events he attended.
That's okay.
Uh,
You can come back to me on that one.
Okay. And just like keeps on typing away. Darius and Pim, can the two of you please both make me a perception check as
Alice.
as Sparks is working away?
Sorry. Oh, I'm rolling
Double
shit
5.
tonight. Well-
Though I think I've got a negative in perception. So it would be
Sorry, Darius, it's a
9.
5.
I think
Okay.
mine's 6 then,
Cool. Okay.
Mine's 9.
depending if you're using intelligence, which knowing Sparks, I'll assume it is.
It would be wisdom just to notice something. So
Then no.
you don't notice anything more.
But I got a 9.
Yes. I rolled higher than a 9.
Sparks, query.
Yeah?
Where did you learn to code?
Oh, joined the military academy.
Yeah, no, fuck those guys. I'm looking for a teacher.
Really? Well, I picked up a few good tricks as part of the immersion. Of course, it was some pretty rigorous on-hand experience.
Yeah. Figures.
At this point, though, I'm pretty on par with most of the people who taught me, except maybe one.
Nice. Okay, thanks for that. I'll keep that in mind.
No problem.
Okay, I think we should reconvene on all matters in the morning, and for now, forget everything and go party. I take it you
Oh.
guys have a plan for your mission, which you can debrief us on at some point.
I think I might try and resolve something in the meantime rather than going to the party. I just don't see myself being much use there.
That's okay, it's up to you. The rest of us, I
Or-
suppose, we get ready to go.
Oh, wait,
Alright.
hang on. Is this party the nightclub owned by the mob boss?
Yep.
Mm.
Ah, in that case, I'll go.
Okay. Fair enough. So
Sorry, I was getting confused. I thought people were just going drinking for the sake of it.
No.
that's all good.
Well, I mean,
So
you find out.
So, can you please just paint me a word picture for Darius? What do you think he would dress like if he were going to like a nightclub?
Depends on the nightclub.
Decently high-end nightclub, but still pretty grungy.
That's not really much help. Okay. You know the green jacket I own?
Yeah.
That, but absolutely shredded tastefully. And then ripped jeans and ripped t-shirt.
Okay.
Looking like a werewolf attack victim, but more punk.
Okay. Ivan, like, kind of sizing you clothes-wise and personality-wise, probably pulls out a pair of ripped jeans and a somewhat intact jacket, and is all like, "So you go to party too?"
Yeah, do I get to keep those?
No, it's
Fuck.
loan.
Yeah, alright, fine.
It's all loan. If everybody keep all the clothes I loan out, I have no clothes. Stop.
Ivan
I
is
buy
very proud of his wardrobe.
Am I
You're-
allowed to go to this club naked?
If you are entertainment.
On that note, Locky is going in just his like military cargo pants
Mhm.
and his Goethe pelt cloak, Jacket, what do you mean? and that's it.
Oh my god.
Well, He's meant to be the prize fighter.
I
So,
love it.
Showing
Okay,
a bit of
okay.
muscle.
So good.
Okay. You need to remember that when we enter, it is reputable establishment. Okay? You need to look presentable.
Rip out his
So
tongue,
no,
Locky.
I intend to.
Okay.
so I'm not allowed to be nude. Okay.
In
Can I
fact,
dress this?
sorry, what?
It's a social experiment.
Do you wish to dress how?
May I dress in female's clothing? It is a social experiment.
If that's
On
what
this
makes you
planet?
happy. Oh. It's okay as long as you cover it when we enter.
I will dress normally. I suppose my experiments have to be done in their own time.
Okay. You can dress in women's clothes if you like, but you'll have to cover it when we enter.
Hmm.
We will all
I have
need
a
to be
core
covered
routine.
when we enter.
What are chaps?
Ivan can show you. He has some in the
He-
cupboard.
Yes, though they're a little bit crisp. We not had to do the rodeo job in a few years, and so he pulls out a pair of kind of like a bit stiff-looking brown leather chaps. It was all like, yes, I wear these on a horse job. It was enlightening.
I will
Just
take those. They align with one of my routines.
Okay. He kind of like sizes you up. I will take them in for you. I don't think I ever want to wear these again.
Not after this,
Oh.
you won't.
So I get to keep them.
No, I still want them back. Just I will
Oh.
not wear them anymore.
I was gonna rub it in Darius's face.
Well,
You rub those in my face, and I will take your face off.
there is no
That's okay. I can make.
there is no crotch in chaps. So you do you, but I'm not going to clubs. So just keep it PG, okay?
Parental guidance. I've never had parents.
No?
This is very strange.
You want parents?
No, not particularly. I have a father, and he's very distant most of the time.
So how you come into being? You just go poof and then, oh god, AI.
PIMM.
There is literally years worth of information I would have to give you.
Okay, but like a person made you?
Does that make them a parent?
Yes. And I assume they did?
Very much so.
Well then, you orphan. Welcome to club.
Do we have jackets?
You said you just wanted chaps.
But if you're in a club, you need a jacket.
Okay, hang on. He like pulls out like one of like classic school kid letter jackets, puts it in like
What, like a
no,
greaser?
but, like mounts it in one of those like programmable pattern making machines and just like programs in a jaunty 50s font the Orphan Club to be like stitched across the back, and so
With
like
rhinestones.
yeah, so like that will take about an hour if you can wait.
All the time in the world. I'm gonna go work on my truck destroying, traffic machine. Yeah.
Spark kind of glances up and says, "Ooh, dibs." Yeah, dibs. Okay. You, me, yeah.
Sure.
Sick. Okay, and he will like follow you out of the room.
He strikes me as the kind of guy who would say, rad.
He
So
definitely would.
Totally tubular.
So you two head off into the like combination car park garage and get to work.
I've got a few things to make, apparently.
And so, with everybody donning their party attire, and with the evening growing ever closer, is there anything else people want to do before we call it a session and then pick up next session arriving at the club?
I want to keep
Nope.
playing.
Oh, Ash, I'm sorry, but it's like 10 past 10 already.
I know.
Next week we go back to normal time.
Yeah, though, next week and the week after that, I will have to leave like bang on 10 because then I have to immediately fall asleep and then wake up at 4 a.m.
That's not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having a job is great, but it's
Somebody
also
give me some
complicated.
Somebody give me some sugar.
You need to learn to drink coffee, mate. It's way more effective than sugar.
No.
Direct
wanna-
inject caffeine.
I don't want to take that fall. I'm very happy with my sugar addiction. Thank you.
Yeah, but it's...
Become one of us.
Here's the tea man.
One of us.
No, he's not a tea man. He doesn't drink tea either. He's the worst
you're-
Englishman ever.
I was gonna say you are not a Brit.
Wow. I feel so cool that, you know what?
Excuse me?
Uncalled for, dude.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
You're an Englishman who doesn't drink tea.
I don't like tea.
Green tea, mate. That's where it's at.
I like chamomile.
Hang on, let me
Tea's
just
gross.
change this to reflect how I feel.
Pure rage.
On that note, we're gonna end the session because I think something I should reveal about myself that Mikhail cannot abide.
It's
So
okay.
we're
We still love you,
Yeah.
Rory.
gonna go, and hopefully Mikhail can calm his tits.
Hopefully. We'll see.
Does not compute.
My mum is allergic to tea. It was never around when I was a child.
But you don't learn to drink
He's
tea
allergic
when
to
you're a
leaves?
child. You learn.
Tea. My mum.
You're allergic to leaves.
My mum is allergic to caffeine, so cannot drink tea or coffee.
Ah.
So
Okay.
I never had
So-
exposure to it, and by the time I did, I was like,
Who we rating?
Yeah,
yes,
who rated?
so I rated it. I'm kind of tempted to raid the Game Stormers because they are playing Monkey Island, and I'm quite taken by that
Let's
series.
do it.
It's
Let's do it.
fantastic. Monko.
My favourite episode is the Dunce Cap.
Okay, everybody, we will be back next week for episode 57, when the party roll on up on a nightclub.
The
And I
party goes
am-
party.
I'm really excited for this next session just because there's so much that can happen in this place, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm so excited.
Chat.
This is like Katalina going back to her like early uni days.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Oh, boy,
Yeah,
boy.
and a
The
reminder
first
to
thing
everyone that
done
we
that
will
one.
be starting at 6:30 AEST next week, which is an hour and a half earlier than we started this week. Yeah.
Because my life is a roller coaster of schedules, but I'm okay with it because money is a thing you need to do to live.
Yep.
Yep.
I know that. feeling.
Unfortunately.
Yep. On
Okay,
that depressing
everybody.
note, let's go and raid the
Yeah.
Game Stormers.
Do it,
It's
everybody.
funny when you've got humour.
We will
Good night,
see you all
everybody.
next week.
See you guys.